Well, welcome to my page, you guys. This is a labor of love. This is Wild Preacher's Kid podcast. Here we talk about life, love, family, faith, and health. Like we talk about a little bit of everything on here, but this podcast was made out of love. I just want to encourage people. That's the sole purpose of this podcast, to encourage people to keep being wild for God and to keep going. There's so many challenging things out there, but I want to encourage you to stay locked in and loaded. I want to say welcome to another episode of Wild Preacher's Kid. And I'm excited. I hope that this episode blesses somebody. If you are already subscribed, make sure you share this with a friend so that they can tune in as well. And I am your host, Alicia James Abdullah, board certified Christian counselor. And I'm excited to talk about today's discussion. It's really about what really led me to not returning back to my church. Now, this is kind of like a tell-all, but it's not a tell-all. We just gonna figure it out together, okay? But I had so many people tell me rumors, which was really crazy, about like why, what happened, and things like that. Um, so just to give some, if you didn't watch the first episode, just to give a little recap, in August, my husband was wrongfully terminated. And in preparation to, if all else failed and I could not stay at the church because, or stay with the ministry because I was on staff there, I had made preparations if I had to transition out, just in case, because I didn't want to leave the ministry in a bad place from where I was. And then it did come down to, we couldn't find work in the last two, in August or September. And so we thought we were leaving. That was the main goal. The main goal was, it's like, let's prepare to pack up and leave and things like that. Obviously, it didn't happen. We're still here in the Middle Georgia area, and I'm so thankful for it because this is where my kids go to school. All the happy fuzzy feelings are here from us being in relation, me and my husband being in relationship and having children and starting our family. So I'm thankful. I think that what made me decide that I wasn't coming back to the church that I was at, it was the realization that they were not for me, my pastors. They were really not supportive. Even though, even their words, they didn't say anything against what I was doing, but they really weren't for it. I would like to say, in the nicest way, the last 6 to 7 months of me being at that ministry, it felt like Saul and David. In the Bible, with David and Goliath, David is, he's a field boy, field hand. He's coming to bring his brothers some lunch, because they're all at war. So he brings them some food. Saul sees him and he's like, hey, is there anybody, well, not just to David, but to everyone's out there. It's like, who could take out Goliath? Because Goliath is the one that is holding up our progress in this war. And I'm just recapping it from, just trying to recap. Um, and so I saw King Saul, or David at the time. He was like, I can take him on. He's the one that kills Goliath with a slingshot. If you don't know this story, it's a really good story to really acknowledge the underdog in a situation. Like, David came out there, he is not a warrior, but behind closed doors, he had been preparing. Like, he has fought lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, maybe not tigers, but wolves, protecting his sheep. And the skill that he got was using a slingshot. And it's something that's not a sword, it's not a shield, it's not an axe, like typical we going to war type of things, right? He's going into war against this giant with a slingshot. And of course, David slews the giant. He falls and he collapses. And As David gets older and he matures and he is added to the army and he's moving up ranks, now he's become this legend, like he's become this legend amongst the people. And they're singing songs about him, saying Saul slew 1,000, David slew 10,000. And Saul and David were friends. They were technically co-workers. Saul was king. He was he was a part of his army. Like David came to serve the king. That's really what he came to do. He didn't come to do anything else. He came to serve the king. But then something happened, like hearing the positive things about David, hearing stuff that was going on. Not that it was bad at all. It's like just hearing the comparison, and jealousy creeps in, envy creeps in, insecurities creep in. And Saul makes many attempts at ending David's life. And it's a sad story about, somebody who comes in trying to do, trying to be supportive and trying to help the person who's carrying the weight. Like to be king, it's weighty. Like it's very, very weighty. And at the end of it, it turns into like a thorn in Saul's side. And it's like David just wants to serve the king. He doesn't want to do anything else. His eyes are on the big picture. This is what our country's doing. He's like, let's do this together. And insecurity crept in and changed the dynamic of their relationship. And I truly believe that's what happened to me. I believe that I'll start by saying this. When I was just doing media, I had no issues. I was doing exactly what my pastors wanted me to do, and I was excelling at it as well. Like when we started a media team, and I've shared this before, when we started a media team, it was me and one teenager on a camera. And in 3 years, we built it from doing just the two of us to having social media, content creators, graphics, multiple cameramen, multiple people helping out with presenter, and really developing and growing this ministry so that it could be more than just, you know, the basic let's just do this little simple thing. Like the goal was to do more. Like I wanted cameras, like real, like just building this ministry to its maximum capacity. That is what I wanted. But I'm willing to do it at the pace that we were able to. So 3 years we went from just me and this and one of my babies to doing 15 of us on the team. Like the team was healthy and it was whole. So obviously leadership, and that's what I told them when I first started doing media. When he asked me to, he was like, hey Alicia, I would really like your help and assistance with building our media team. I was like, I might not know anything about media. Like, I don't know how to do streaming or anything like that. I said, but number one thing is two things I'm good at. I'm good at being a leader and I'm good at being a student. And that is like, and I still live like that. That is really my motto. If you're going to be a leader, you have to be an excellent student. Like, you should never get to a place where you're not learning anymore. If you get to that place, you probably need to step away and go do something else so that you can get back into learning. But that's just a tidbit for my leaders out there. But I went to I went to our women's retreat, and it was supposed to be a refreshing, a soaking, allowing us to really hear from God. And I was so thankful for this retreat because I needed it. I had two under two um, at the time, and I was being stretched really thin, and I went on this retreat, and by the end of it, I heard the Lord tell me that I need to do a women's conference. Now at this retreat, I announced it to all the ladies. And I was like, God wanted me to do a women's conference. I was like, I don't know what it's for. I don't have no name for it, but I heard him clearly say, I want you to put this women's conference together. And I asked the ladies in that room, I said, can y'all hold me accountable to it? I was like, because it's scary to put something this massive together by myself. Like, people don't understand. You need a team for all of this. You need people, you need volunteers, you need people to touch and agree with you to put this on. Because I've put a conference together, and I tell this story as well. My Pillow Talk conference, and all the things that were supposed to be there were there, except I had a lot of cancels at the last minute, and yeah, I had a lot of cancellations at the last minute, and for like the sound guy, like he ghosted me. Like I was like, bruh, just tell me you can't come. Like I'm calling you nonstop. And it's like, and I like it was a lot. It was a lot. And it was like right after COVID. So no, most people didn't want to be out in public. So I lost out on a lot of money. It was supposed to be a 2 day event and it went to 1 day. I think I probably sold 3 tickets. This venue was long, but it ended up being great. We did it for the one, as I like to say. Um, I think that's what was the blessing from that situation. So it's like the fear of failing this conference again was real for me. And I was like, I don't want to do this. But a friend of mine, Victoria, Victoria Brown, she was like, as soon as I released that I was supposed to do this, she texted me. We're still in this group session. She texted me and she was like, you need to call it Deliver Her Conference. And I was like, yes and amen. I was like, there's no way that before I finished even talking, she texted me and she was like, you need to call it Deliver Her Conference. So I'm thankful to her. And that's one of my 2025 babies that I pushed out. And it was the conference itself was so impactful. It was so amazing. The women that came and supported and bought books and bought tickets and t-shirts. Like I was so thankful for them because, you know, it paid for the event and the little bit like let me tell you something. In a conference, unless you have like unless you're a church in my opinion, if you're a church, you're not like if you're not a church, you're not making no money, like real money off of doing a conference. People make it seem like you're like you spend way more money to put it together versus you make like any money you make is just to make it back. It's something that Sarah Jakes when she did the Woman Evolve in I think it was in Houston. No, it was in Dallas. And it was at the Global Life Center. I think that's what it's called, but it's their baseball field that's there. And she was like, I've never done a conference this big before. And when we ended the conference, her concern, she was like, we still in debt. Like that was and this is her being honest. She's like, we're still in debt for this conference. And I mean, and there's tons of women in this place. But the cost of putting these conferences together, and it's like, you know, it's just little old me. And here she is. She was like, the Lord did bless them. They ended up getting a sponsor. They did announce that right before we left. The I think it was let me not tell the story. I don't know. Um but a sponsor did say they were like, we will pay the debt and we want to be your main sponsor for the rest of them. And it's like the Lord provides, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what my experience was with the women's conference. But I think when I released that word, I think that when I sent it out, that is when the enemy was like, I gotta get busy. I gotta get busy because this girl can't do that. I don't want her helping people get deliverance. I don't want anybody to be free. I don't want anybody to be refreshed and be big and bold. And In my opinion, I genuinely feel like, unbeknownst to them, I think that he was using my pastors in that time because the conversations that we had leading up to me doing the conference, it was like skepticism. And it wasn't about the conference itself, it was about me. Like having conversations about like what my intentions were. And it threw it like it still is something that was like threw me off because it's like I don't have any intentions. I think without it really being said, and they never said this to me, and I want to make sure I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth, but they thought that I was trying to start a ministry within their ministry, like put like a church as well. And I don't know if it's from their past situations and hurts and somebody else may have done them like that or whatever. But the skepticism behind me, I was not prepared for it. Like questions like, well, I see you doing the podcast. I see you putting the women's conference together. I see you putting the book together. And I see you trying to go to school. Like, where's this all going to? What is this all building up to? And I was like, I have no idea. And I'm being honest. Like, I think, and this is just my assumption, I think they thought I was lying. I was 100% being honest. I have no idea. I don't know what God wants to do with me. I'm just, and I, as I told them, I was like, no, I'm just in a season of yes. Like, God's telling me to do things, and I'm just saying yes. Like, I'm just saying yes to it. I was like, I'm tired of not being obedient and then paying the price for it. So I'm just saying yes to it. And hearing that, I'm a very lovey-dovey person. Like I tell people, if you have experienced me in person, you know that I say that I love you because I'm a firm believer that some people never hear it. And it's not really me saying it. It's more like this is God using me to tell somebody that God loves them as well. Like they may not hear it, but this God is giving me permission to be like, God loves you, and I love you too. And I hope the best for you. Like just something that small, like it can change somebody's situation. You'd be surprised at how acknowledgement of someone's presence can change their thought process immediately. And I feel like that's how impactful the Lord is. But they were questioning whether or not I loved them and I cared for them. And it's like I was so consumed with doing actual ministry at the church and trying to be obedient to what God was telling me to do that I could not piece together what was happening for them to feel this way. I really I could not understand it. And I want to say this for clarity as well. I think it was two things that were happening simultaneously. I was underneath the impression that I was doing something correct. Like when I asked for the to use and I did the conference at the church as well. But when I asked to use the building, I'm thinking that I'm following whatever process it is to use the building to get their approval to say that they agree because it's like if you asked me, hey Alicia, I want to come to your house to throw a party. If I don't agree with what you're doing, I would just tell you no, right? But it went from me putting the suggestion out there just to get information to them telling me, okay, this is how much it would cost. Because I was trying to get a quote. And it's like, this is how much it would cost. You could do it these days. These days are available. This and this and that and that. And then it was like, okay, cool. And then I put a save the date out on Facebook. But that little bit was the change in in the relationship between me and my pastors. Because I think, and this is just my assumption, I think they became aware that I wanted to do more than just what they were asking me to do. And normally, when people are ambitious, and I've been in church for almost 4 decades, pretty much, like you, I want to say this correctly because I don't want to put words in nobody's mouth either. When you see somebody in your congregation who is ambitious, the ideas that you have as a leader is like, okay, so what does this, like, okay, you're ambitious and you're going to go, like, you're almost, sometimes you can talk yourself out of having good people because the assumption is that this person is so good at what they're doing. There's no way that they can just do it here. And the truth is, I was going to do it there. That's where I was. I had no desire of leaving. I loved this ministry. I still love this ministry. I love who they are as as a church, and their mission is being presence first and looking for God to be your leader and guide, and building that personal relationship. It's not a very traditional church. They do think out of the box as well. But I feel like that was the tipping point of where the mindset of past experiences and then misinformation was happening, which guided them in a direction of they felt hurt by me. And I didn't understand it because I'm thinking I'm following protocol. Now, if somebody wanted to argue with me about that, you come for me in the comments because it is what it is. I asked the right person, like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. If I could do this, where, like, how much would it be? Whatever. I feel like God has called me to do this thing. It wasn't a whole conversation. It was just a question. If I want to do this thing, how much would it cost me and could I do it? And then it was like at the end of it, having a conversation with my pastor, and he was like, pretty much was like, normally when people want to do things at the church, they talk to me first. And I was like, oh, well, I apologize. Immediately. Immediately. I apologize. That was not my intent. I'm not trying to go over you. If somebody would have told me I need to talk to you first, I would have went there first. But I asked somebody what the steps were, and to my understanding, those were the steps. So that little bit of miscommunication, I thought we was on. I apologize, and so I was like, okay, I need to be more upfront with what I'm doing. So I'm gonna talk to them first, and then I'm gonna go do the thing. Now I've been I've been in ministry so long that I understand politics, the church politics. I understand, like, being sensitive, how sensitive that role is. Like if you haven't been in church, like people stealing members and things like that, it's a real thing. And it can get really hurtful and it can be ugly and things like that. But I'm a PK. I have no desire. Let me be honest. Let me tell you, let me get close. I have no desire, no desire to be a pastor of a ministry. The weight of that is too heavy for me. It's too heavy for me. It's way too heavy for me. I cannot do it. I would not do it. I will not do it. It's not, there's nothing about being a pastor that's luxurious. Like, people's idea of the weight that they carry is like they do nothing all week and they show up on Sunday and then they give this word and they go home and everything is fine. I was like, but pastoring is one of those jobs where you don't know if you're doing good ever. You're in charge of everything. There's really no checks and balances. If your organization is new, you're figuring it out as you go along. If it's established, it's hard to change things. Like, it is a battle to be a pastor. And then, like, the expectation that your finances, because I do believe pastors should be paid for being in ministry. If your church can handle that, I do believe that they should be. And not to talk about, you know, I know where this could go. But I do believe in that because it's a job, because people don't see what you do behind, like, after hours when you're not there on Sunday. People assume that you go to bed and you hanging out with your feet out all week, and it's like that's not the case. But it's a thankless job. A thankless job. Even the little bit of casual conversations that you get on Sundays, like it's real. It's, I mean, most of them are not genuine. I'm just gonna be honest. They're not genuine conversations. It's people, not that everybody is out to get pastors, but it sometimes it's always a motive, and you're still a person. So you're trying to navigate who is for you, who is against you, who cares about you, who loves you, who is just trying to get close to you so that they can do whatever it is. And it's like it's such a messy role. And like good pastors, great pastors, amazing men and women of God have been broken because people normally misunderstand them. People don't understand their heart. They don't, they don't see what they're dealing with. And because I'm a PK, I'm very much aware of that. So I would never, ever, 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 ever want to be a pastor. Now, the gift of pastoring is on my life, and I think it's because I care about people and I love people and I show up for people, and I think that is what shows the most. It's my heart for covering people. Like I'm big on that. Anybody who's experienced me in ministry, I mean, I don't know. Y'all let me know how I've been. But to my understanding, from the feedback that I've gotten, it's always been positive. So, but doing that full time and with family and kids, like it's terrifying. It's terrifying. Y'all saw how COVID was. You had people, can you imagine you have been pastoring your whole entire life and then a whole year the whole church closed down. You don't know what to do. That's why so many churches closed, because it's like they didn't know how to pivot. These Some of these churches did not know how to pivot. And their ministry just fell apart. And let's say they do ministry full time. They out there old getting a job and they haven't worked other than ministry for like 10, 15 years. Like it's scary, especially in the economic climate that we're in right now. It's terrifying. So I would never, 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 never. This is what I'm doing. This I can handle this. This is what the Lord has given me capacity for. But I can pastor people from a ministry perspective as like an assistant or something like that. Like, hey, I got this ministry. I will pastor these people to the best of my ability. Like that's what I will do. But that role is something I no dream will ever. And most PKs will tell you, most church kids will tell you that is not something that they want. Most pastors that are pastors said no first. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. That's how it is. But long story short, um, it was just like Saul turning his heart away from David and thinking that he's out to get him and he's gonna hurt him and put him in a bad spot. And they were waiting. It felt like they were waiting for the ball to drop. Like, well, here she is. She's doing this and she's doing that. And I'll be honest with you, I was so focused on what God was telling me to do. The responsibilities that I had, I still showed up for that. I still showed up for everything that I committed to. I still was a part of every single thing that I said yes to. And it's just like with corporate America, when you start hearing somebody ask you, well, what do you do? Like, define your role. Like, it almost like, tell me how valuable you are. I felt it. I ain't gonna lie, I felt it. Like, in one conversation, you're telling me that you hear the positive things that people are saying about me, and you're glad that I'm able to help so many people, and they're like, you're ministering to folks, and I was like, we're happy about it. But no one, they never said that they were displeased with what I was doing. It just came out to just silly things like, you're not doing this one thing. That wasn't an expectation. Or Well, how long have you been doing this? Or, well, who else does that? So this person does all of these things. Because, like, I manage, okay? I've been in sales and retail for a very long time. I know how to manage a team. If you are in charge and you're doing everything, you are not managing well. I don't care what nobody says. So people had roles, I had team leads, I had expectations. I was developing my team. Those team leads were trying, like, teaching them to get a number two because there's gonna be days where you're not gonna be there, and like I felt like they were asking me, they were they were openly telling me, can we still run this ministry without you? And the answer was yes. Yes, I have prepared this team to be able to do that. Like, that was my intention. I think that when it started turning into, like, just nitpicky things, like, why aren't you coming to practice? And it's like I'm explaining why I don't go, and it's logical. Like, not full disclosure, but like there's no point in me just coming to practice when the person that runs these computers won't be me. And the people who can't come to run those computers or to run the service, they can't come on Thursdays. Like, that was the day that there was worship practice and they want to be able to run through worship and things like that. It was a couple of things. Like, we weren't getting sermon topics until Friday or Saturday. So we can't run scriptures or anything. The song list is the song list. And the way our worship team is, they sing whatever the Lord leads. Like, there's no cap to the worship, which I absolutely love. But on the on the media side, it is stressful because you're having to jump from one song. Like, on the set list is three songs, approximately three songs. But I love to call the worship, one of the worship leaders. I called her a jukebox because she would pull out songs and, like, from the top of her head and just know these words. Like, it's crazy to me. And she just knew, like, I'm going here and y'all better catch on. And, if anybody's been in media before, pro presenter or presenter, you be stressed out. You be like, what song is this? Like, what? Like, what? Wait. What scripture you said? That's not on the list. Like, you. But they would do anywhere between 10 to 15 songs. Like, we would jump. So it's like I didn't have anybody new to train. And the only person who was available to come on Thursdays was myself. And most of the team's stuff was run from home. Like, I had created a system where graphics and everything could be inputted from the house. So then it's just like I would come just to update the computer, make sure everything was running so that we're not popping in on Sunday and then it's like this camera doesn't work or this doesn't work. Like, I was maintaining the maintenance behind the scenes. But anytime somebody's asking you to value, like, what's your value? What do you bring? Like, so I mean, I see you not doing what everybody else is doing. That's the vibe it was giving. And I was like, do you not see, like, I took this team from 2 to 15 in 3 years and everybody's doing well. Everybody's happy on my team. Like, I'm thinking somebody's complaining. That's what like, somebody's like, Alicia's terrible. She said this, she's doing this. Like, I'm thinking that's what we are. I'm and that's not what it was. It was it I could feel it. I could feel somebody searching to terminate me, to let me go, to that. I could feel it. It's like, when you and somebody that you work for, and then they just start finding little things to be upset about. And it's like, how does that impact? Like, my question always was like, well, how does me going, not going, impact service? Because it's like I hadn't been going. Only time I would go to practice is if I'm doing maintenance or if I'm training somebody. I always maintain the training because I set the standard. That was my rule. And we hadn't had a new person on the team in a while. And then because I would go to the church maybe like a little bit earlier. I would test everything and then go home. I didn't stay for practice because it's just me sitting. But anyway, when I heard it, I was like, You're trying to tell me I don't do anything. You're trying to say that I'm like, that's how I took it. They didn't say that. That's how I took it. It's like, what good are you? And it's like I thought I brought a lot of value to the team. I thought I brought a lot of value to the ministry. We evolved so much and creating things. And now I will say, as a leader, I am very vocal. Some things that are not my business stay not my business, but I try my best to be honest and give a different perspective and to push back, because sometimes when leadership makes decisions, they don't take every department into consideration. They just be like, I want to do this, and then you just go in that direction, right? But then it's like everybody else is scrambling to figure this out. So it's like, hey, that might not work for my team, because like I'll just, I feel like it's my responsibility to let you know what we can and can't do, because I know my team better than anybody. But it hurt. It slowly was chipping away at this idea that I thought I was a part of what we were doing together. Like I was bought in. I was bought in. Like just I want this ministry to grow. I want it to prosper. I know that this is how I can help it grow. I know, and I feel like I was a woman of my word. I said that I was a leader first and a student second. Everything I was leading from a place of joy, and then as a student, I was learning from a place of need. Like I need to get this right and do this and be on page with this ministry, because I don't want to be the reason why they're held up. That's how I treated it. And it wasn't until maybe I wanted to start marketing the conference that I realized that something else was going on. I was unaware of it at the time. I wanted to promote the conference on like our church's like we have our like a massive church group text or whatever. And I wanted to post it and it was taken down, not once, but a couple of times. And we thought it was like a technical error at first, and then it turned into, hey, we need to talk. And I was like, okay. And the feedback that I got was pretty much like, I don't know anything about this. I don't know why you're doing this. I don't know, I wasn't included in this. And it's like my thought process was different. I'm thinking I'm using the building. My desire was, if I'm going to pay anybody to put this conference together, I wanted to sow it into the ministry that I serve, because I knew the things that, because I'm on staff, I know the things that we were working towards. So instead of me taking the money that I would have spent on a venue and extra help and all that stuff somewhere else, I wanted to put it back in the house. That was the mindset I was in. I believe, and this is my understanding, I believe they had a issue with separating my own personal desire to put this conference on, with it being like it's a like me saying that it's a church thing. And it's like for them, it's like this is their church. We're not, you can't, this is, you can't do, like what I had asked for was for everything, because I don't have a team, right? It's just me. So I was asking for guest services, I was asking for security, I was asking for the building, the band, the worship team, and anything else that would help me put this conference together. And these are all people that I serve with. So I knew these people. Some of these people are my friends. I've spent time with them. So I myself am not treating this like, it's like I'm asking my friends, can y'all help me put this thing together? Like that's how I took it. They did not take it that way. They took it as I was coming in and taking their people and their staff and their ministry and I was doing what I want with it. Now, mind you, I paid for this space. I want to say that I paid for it. But in the midst of paying for it, I'm thinking I'm getting this full package. And the person who was handling this situation, um, I want to say that sometimes they didn't walk in integrity and by speaking the truth about what my intentions were. Because I learned after the fact, I learned that this person was saying that to me, like, I don't know why they're upset with you. I don't know why they're acting like this with you. But then when this person was with my pastors, they also were saying, no, 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 she didn't ask for that. No, she didn't. No, she didn't do this. She didn't do that. And it's like, I didn't know, y'all, when I say there was so many things that happened that was wrong at the conference. Like, I was so heavy. I was heavy all the way up until the doors opened. Once the doors opened, it was whatever after that. Like, I was like, it is what it is. But like some of the ministries that I had asked for, it just was like a miscommunication, and because I think my pastors were also being influenced by this individual of miscommunication, which I don't understand because it's like I know what I said and I know what I asked for, and I asked for a price for it, and you gave me a price for it, and then you changed your mind because you thought they were upset, or maybe they came at you upset, and then it was like it was easier to throw me underneath the bus. That I'm gonna say what it is. It was easier to throw me underneath the bus than to just really speak what happened. Like, no, she asked for this. This is what she wanted, and this is the quote that we gave her. Like, contract and all, like, show it to him. That's all I kept saying. Show him the paperwork. Like, I signed paperwork. Show it to him. What I asked for. And like line by line. He didn't I don't think he knew where it was. I think he had lost it. And then the copy that was sent to me, it was just the agreement. And that was my fault. I learned big from that. Like, because if I would have showed them what I asked for and when I signed for it and after I gave him that first check and all that kind of stuff, then it was like, okay. But when they took down my flyer, I was like, wait a minute, hold up. How can you let me do this in your house and not be supportive of it? Like, want to help me promote it? Like, because it's not just for my church members, it's for people that don't go to church here. This is another opportunity to be in the house of God that I serve at. And like, I sing my whatever church I go to, I sing their praises because it's like I'm here. I want to support what we're doing. I share it. I acknowledge it. Like, I I was not prepared for after I'm thinking I got clarity and was like, okay, so it was a misunderstanding about the flyer, about this flyer being posted on this page or whatever. And you're like, yeah, you can go ahead and post it. And it's like, but when I tried to post it again and it got taken down and I found out who did it, like, it was devastating. I'm not gonna lie. Cause it's like, if you weren't for it, or if you didn't think that I should do it, then you should have gave me my money back. I'm gonna say it the way I felt. You should have told me no and gave and told and just you could have started by no, but then if you felt some kind of way, gave me my money back and be like, "Hey, Alicia, we can't do it here. We don't feel comfortable. We don't." And it's like you've caused. It's like this whole situation is being caused because of past afflictions from other people that's driving this fear, and then a miscommunication with somebody who lacks a level of integrity. And then you're asking me roundabout questions about my intentions and like, well, we don't know if you're saying that you love us. You're thinking that I'm Judas when really I'm Peter. Like, I was like, no, no, I rock with y'all. Like, I rock with y'all hard. Like, I'm cool. And these are people that I have served with for a very long time, like almost 20 years. Like, we served at a different church first. And then they went away, and then I stayed, and then I went to another church. And when they were trying to plant theirs, I wanted to touch and agree with them and help them build it. So it's like, this is not a, I went for a year and that's it. It's like, no, I served with them 8 years. And it's like, I don't understand how this one situation has turned your thoughts against me in a way where it's like, it felt like y'all thought I was plotting on y'all. Y'all felt like I was trying to take people from y'all. And it's like, no, it's just, I've served with some of these people for a really long time and they just want to help me. They just want to help me. Some of them were in the room at the, in the cabin at the women's retreat and they heard me make this confession and they just wanted to touch and agree with me. And I thought, I thought that the last conversation that I had with them right before I left, or when we had the conversation about leaving, um, I thought that I was going to come back. If the Lord allowed us to find a way for us to stay, that I was going to come back to the ministry. I really, really did. Because I wanted to clear the air. I wanted to, like, whatever this is, I want to fix this. Because I struggle with closure, and I struggle, like, I'm just being honest. I struggle with closure and leaving with a foul taste in your mouth. But I think that after God's blessed us with the money for us to stay, God checked me as well. And he was like, there's nothing left for you there. You've literally done everything that you could have done to help them. They'll never receive you the way that they received you when you first came. They will never, like, this is the Lord telling me this. He's like, they will never trust you. They will never welcome you. They will, it's like finding out that people that you served with and you believed in what they were doing and you were willing to help and you forego a lot of things, like, and it's like, I'm not keeping score. Like, I'm not keeping score. I know what I did. I know what I sacrificed to touch and agree with them on, and things that I've given and donated to that ministry, just because it's like I would rather give it to my church than anywhere else, because that's what I was taught to do as well. But he told me I couldn't go back. He was like, the damage has been done. You can't go back. I probably cried 3 days, if I'm honest. 3 days I cried. I could not get out that bed. I was crying because it was like, I love those people. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love being around them. I love seeing them grow. I love pouring into them. Like, all the things about ministry, I enjoy it. I love it. I do believe, though, that was when the floodgates of information happen. Like, when you're in the thick of it, sometimes you don't, people are very cautious. Like, if you've ever been left a ministry before, I don't know if you've done that before, but when you leave a ministry, when you're in the ministry, you're very cautious. You don't want to share certain things. Like, because I was going through these mental things, these emotional things with them, with my pastors at the time, and nobody knew but my husband and a couple of close friends. They don't know who these people are. And I was like, I just don't understand what's happening. Like, I could not put my finger on it. But that last conversation, it let me know that they did not want me. And not that they wish me ill. I want to make sure I say that as well. Some people are going to take this whole conversation out of context, but that's, y'all do what y'all got to do. But I think that I realized that I wasn't, I was really bought into being a good servant of God and being a good servant of the house, but I wasn't being a good steward for years. And this is before them. Like I haven't been a good steward of what God has given me. And it was an eye opener because when you're in the thick of it, people are not sharing things with you. They don't tell you things. But when I got on the other side of it, I had people asking to take me out to lunch and they wanted to hear my side of the story. And one person who I thought was a like a sister friend or whatever. And by the end of the conversation, it just was like, oh, you just came for gossip. I'm trying to understand what happened. Like, because I still, like, mind you, I'm still doing a lot of things in my own personal life and dealing with my husband who's grieving the loss of his job and I'm grieving the loss of what we're about to go through. Like my whole house was in chaos in the midst of still serving. I want to make sure people understand that serving while bleeding is a real thing. And they just wanted gossip. They just wanted to hear. And I'm like, I stopped sharing. I stopped talking to some people and they stopped talking to me. And it was painful. It was hard. It was hurtful because it's like I think it was what somebody said. They were like, well, there's two sides to every story. I was like, so if you really wanted to know what happened, why didn't you call us both at the table so we could talk about it in front of you? It's like, no, you just wanted to hear what I was going to say. And it's like, and I still to this day will not talk negatively about them. Because one thing I do know is that they do have a calling on their life. And I do know that they're people and they're not going to always do the right thing. And sometimes life and feelings and emotions get the best of us and second guessing, like all of these things are real. So like on a personal note, I'm not I still love them. I still pray for them. um and I hope the best for them and the ventures that they're going to go into, and I hope that ministry continues to grow. I hope that they find what they're looking for in teams and members and staff, and it does what God would have it to do, because the mission of that house is still a beautiful one and I still support it. I think that what I have learned though is that I am a small piece that got discarded. That's and to feel discarded is hurtful. It was hurtful. It was hurtful. And I talked about the stripping away of like routines and patterns, and like I was still used to like having my I had all these alarms set for like our staff meeting on Tuesdays and reminding myself um to check things for the team, and like I am like my calendar was full of reminders of, hey, make sure you check on this person because the last time you talked to them was on this day and you said you would check back in. Like I it was tons of that type of stuff. And after I think like the people who I scheduled check-ins with, after I checked in on them, the initial ones, I was like, hey, I'm no longer at the ministry. I just want to let you know that. But if you would still like to talk to me, I would love to. And some said yes and some said no. And I left it at that. Like that's fine. But I think that the more and more I started diagnosing how people were moving in that season where they weren't talking to me, like even using my friend against me, even planning things behind closed doors for somebody else to replace me. And it's not, and it's like some things I found on paper, some things somebody had said, and I was like, well, I said, excuse me. And they're like, oh, I didn't know you was there. And it's like, it felt like a big setup to push me out. And for me, I felt like I didn't do anything wrong. And I hope that they know that I didn't do anything wrong. But it hurt. It hurt to feel like you invested 8 years of your life into a ministry just to turn around and they just want to push you out because fear has taken the driver's seat. Like I am at the last church that I was at, I was there for 12 years. Even when I left them, I cried. Like I don't believe in being loyal. I believe in being faithful. Loyalty will get you to do things that you're not supposed to do. Loyalty will make you put other people's needs and desires before your own and be like, well, if you're loyal to me, you'll do this. But it's like, I might not be loyal, but I am faithful. I'm faithful. I do show up. If I can't show up, I communicate it. If I think something's wrong, I tell you. If you did a great job, I acknowledge it. Like, I think people want loyalty because that's control. That's my thought process. But faithfulness is is a level of showing up when that person is doing the wrong thing, but you're able to correct them and be like, hey man, you done fell off course. It's like, but I'm gonna stick beside you and I'm gonna help you get back on track. That person has to allow you to know that they failed. And I think that I didn't have that respect or that level with them. And that's fine. That's fine. Um, but they're great people. It's still a good ministry. And I say this again, it's still a great house of worship and things like that. This is my story that I can't say that anybody else has gone through what I went through or that they will or won't or whatever. I just know that this is my story and I wanted to share it. And I hope it encourages somebody who may have left a place that felt like home and they felt discarded. I know that yeah, this is my side of the story and this is what I went through, but I'm I'm at peace about it. If somebody who wasn't a part of it wants to argue about it, that's on them. I'm not going to entertain that. I'm going to just let that be known right now. I'm not going to entertain it because it's like you don't know. But what I do know is this: God used that situation to really drive me to purpose, to lead me to who I'm supposed to be, to expose some some bad behaviors that I had. Like if I didn't make last year my yes year, I would have put everything on hold for what they wanted me to do. And it's like that's walking in disobedience. And it's like I didn't know how long I had been doing that. Been doing this for years. Not just this ministry, I said that before, but like just not following God's lead and not submitting to what he would have me to do. So I will say this. I have gone back to that ministry. I've been back there twice. Once was to go in support of a friend. She wanted to go and she just didn't want to go by herself. And I was like, yeah, I can go. Cause it's like the experience I'm not 100% healed from, but I have no malice towards this ministry. I want to say that I don't have any malice towards them because it's like I understand that people are people and the situation, the good that came out of it was necessary. That's what I that so I since I can accept that I'm in a good healthy place with it. Like if I saw them today, I still would speak and say hello because it's not for me. It's not that big a deal. But um, the second time I went, it was when they had I guess their official opening of their new building, and I went to go support my friend who's been running the media team since I left, um and just to tell her is like good job, like I'm proud of you, like it's hard transitioning in ministry from a role and then to fill in the gaps for things. Like it's hard, especially when you're going from building to building. That's even harder, and to see how much she's grown and how much she's progressed. I was proud of her, so I brought her flowers. And this is a house that I sold into. Like my mind is that I paid tithes and offering into this house, and it was to get this type of building, to get a building like this. And it's like it's great. It was great to see that the media had their own room and the things that I had built, like a platform, and they're still using it. Like it just showed that they were still evolving, and I wanted to celebrate them in that as well. Like this is a ministry that prayed over my womb, and I was able to, after trying for a while, I was able to give birth. Like, this is where my kids have their first friends. This is where I found my footing in ministry. Like, but it wasn't meant to last. And the grief that I have from that, that is probably the thing that I'm struggling with the most. And there might be somebody else who's out there, whether it was a job or a divorce, a ministry, a loss. Like, I think that it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to transition from being in a space of like, we're all in it. We're doing this together. We're a family. We like being in that type of space and feeling loved and appreciated, and to go to nothing almost. Like, it was hard. It was like going cold turkey. I'm undoing alarms. Like, you just feel like you're dismantling your whole life. And I was not prepared for it, but it was necessary. And I'm happier now than I was back then. I think that as happy as I was doing ministry, I think that I was getting to a place of like, it just wasn't resting. I was just going, going, going. It was right after a season where me and my husband were at a place where I was thinking about divorce. And then I got two kids I'm becoming a new mom, and we had moved to a new apartment complex. Like, it was so many big life changes that had happened. And I think that I hadn't rested in about 5 years. Like, I hadn't done anything, like just really just rested. Like, and I believe that this was necessary. It has changed the way that I view ministry. I won't lie. It has also changed how I plan on doing ministry at other churches. The church that I attend right now. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love that. Um, Shout outs to Pastor Paul Little and Lady Natalie Little. I don't think they are aware of how warm Bid Mount Zion Baptist Church is. Like, with my husband being raised Muslim and then being integrated into the Christian faith, and then just I see the light bulb turn on for my husband when it comes to ministry. I like he wants to be involved. And I think that's something else that was a benefit from it. Like, I'm seeing my husband want to really be involved in ministry. Like, he wants to participate in the men's events. Like, he's a very low key kind of guy. Like, he normally just, he's like, I go to work and I eat and I sleep. Like, he's that kind of dude. But this was like the first time where being in a church atmosphere, he wanted to really participate. Like, I used to ask him, like, can you run the sound? Can you do this? Can you serve on this ministry? Can you help me with the camera? And he'd be like, no, I don't really want to do that. But this ministry has ignited a different desire in him. Like, I wasn't feeling good. He was gonna take the kids to church anyway. Normally he would miss out and he'd be like, oh, I'm gonna stay at home. So and it's not to speak toward against anybody other ministry. It's just this is the journey that he's on, and he's growing and he's learning, and um I'm seeing something different in him, and I'm thankful for it. And this season of drought, as I like to call it, like, it grew him. Like, being in this season of lack in this valley, it allowed him to believe that God would take care of his family, where I think that he knew he would, or he hoped he would, but didn't know it. And this was the first time where he saw him do it. And his faith has come alive. Like I just see a different version of him, and I'm thankful for it. So that in growing these babies and raising these children, like we can do some things together. It's to the point where he wants me to do this full time. Like, and I'm like, really? You really want me to do this full time? He's like, yeah. He's like, this is what God would have you to do. Like, I just, it feels different. And so I'm thankful to the current church that I am a part of now. And it feels good to not be needed. It feels good to be a member after serving for so long. It feels good to be able to just be obedient to what he would have me to do. I think that I was trained as a youth to not be a lazy Christian. And I think, and it's because my dad taught me that. Just it is what it is. Like, don't be a lazy Christian. Like those and not I promise you, if don't let it hurt your feelings. I promise, don't let it hurt your feelings. But my dad is big on serving in the house of God, and he's very big on they need help. That church, that ministry needs help, which is true. They do need help. I do believe that some of us have been the help for a really long time. So it's good to just be a member. Take a season. My old pastors would say a soaking season. It's good to just soak. Allow God to just minister to you, to pour into you, and to get refreshed. Like, but on my end, I still hear I'm doing better about it, but I hear my dad in the back of my head, and he was like, "You need to be going to church. You need to be serving on somebody's team, on somebody's worship team, doing something." And it's like I like being only needed once a month. I like. I'm just being honest. I like and also I'm older, so it's like, how long should I be swinging the axe and the sword and holding up the shield and like being the guard at the door? Like, I want to make room for the next generation. I love to mentor. I love to pour into people, but I need to make room for somebody else. And I think that's what the Lord also revealed to me outside of just who was for me. Because it's like, I don't think anybody was against me. I'm going to say that. But really understanding who was for me, who was touching and agreeing with me about the things that God had laid on my heart, who was praying with me, who was encouraging me and pushing me. And I had so many of those ladies from that women's retreat go, "Well, Alicia, how's the conference going? How's it going?" Like, just to ask me that so I can, it's like, okay, I did work on this. Like, people just want to cheer you on in the things that you're doing. And I think that for anybody where you've been pushed out or you've had to make a transition or you've moved from left to right, whatever the case may be, I think that, I experienced a level of church hurt I had never experienced before, but I think that it made me aware that some things I need to do differently. I needed to, it's not that to say no to church or say no to to ministry, but I needed to do things differently. I needed to be obedient to what God was having me to do. And I also needed to know who was a part of my community. And it's not that those people I don't know why we always do good and bad, but like everybody's not allowed into the inner court. Everybody's not going to do like they're not going to be able to help be. I always say, if I'm Moses, I need to know who's going to hold up my arms when they get heavy and the weight of my purpose is so big. And I think the Lord had to shake me up. He had to shake that situation up for me to where after giving him my yes, he was like, these are the areas that are holding you back, that are keeping you stagnated, that are keeping you from really moving forward with what I would have you to do. And it's like, God, I didn't know that. I didn't know. I had no idea. But now I do. And because I do, I am running, I'm jumping, I'm almost flying, almost. So I want to encourage somebody right now that no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, if God has told you to do something and you are in a space of like, God, I don't think I have the energy to do it. This might be your season of rest. This might be the season where you rest, recover, recuperate, just be able to feel again, to live again. If you were like me and you were serving to maximum capacity, like some of it is not healthy. There's something underneath it. There's an underlining of why do you have to show up like that? Where everybody else comes first and you're last and you're not taking care of yourself and you're saying yes to everything. But when God tells you, hey, I want you to do this, you tell him, oh, I'm not ready for that. And it's like it's not balanced. It's not balanced. I wanted to pray, but I'm gonna want you to do this instead. No matter where you are today, I want you to pray this prayer. God, reveal if I'm in your will. It's a simple prayer. God, please reveal if I'm in your will. If I'm doing what you would want me to do, if I'm walking it out, give me confirmation. If I'm not, correct me. And I encourage you to submit your yes. Your yes could unlock everything that you're asking God for. It was something that he taught me last year, like even doing this podcast. Like I do podcast trainings, like I'll do them one-on-one and I'll show somebody my setup and and just share with them because being perfect and having everything together, the full package, like the setup and this and that and that, all these things, like because that's the how this has been elevated. This type of career has been elevated to. But to be honest with you, all God wants you to do is what He's told you to do. And normally we have everything we need to do it. Like I don't have a big setup. I don't like even these. This is new stuff. This is new stuff, and I this is new. Stop telling yourself that you need this. You need you need this camera. You need this, I don't know, random device. You need this studio equipment. You need, I don't know, just this certificate, this degree, this like you keep adding steps when God tells you to go. He's like, no, go and do this thing. And it's like, I don't want to do it. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. And he's like, you have everything you need to do it. And you're like, God, I don't think I'm qualified. You have everything you need to do it. Everything you need to do it. And if it's your season of rest, it's also your season of research. If you're resting, spend that time researching what it is that you're trying to do. And you're like, okay, God, how do I do this thing? YouTube University is top tier. I don't know. I done got a couple of degrees from YouTube University. Um, just showing me what's possible and showing me what's capable. So I want to encourage you. That's your assignment. That's your homework. Let that rest in your spirit. God, reveal your will to me. Am I in your will, God? Am I walking it out? Am I doing this thing? Because some of us are meant to just do some things, some basic things, or this is all I'm called to do. And then there's some of us where we are sitting sitting with so many great things inside of us, and we're waiting for someone else to see it. I am guilty of that. But this is your season of release. This is your season to do that thing and to do it unto the Lord. So that's my encouragement for you. And that's my prayer for you. So we're going to wrap up. This was a oldie but a goodie. Thank y'all. I was nervous about talking about this one because, you try not to offend anybody and you try to even after some things. And I will say this, some is like the feeling that I had after leaving. I didn't say anything to them because I didn't think they would care. I didn't think it would matter. Because to me, they the things that were happening, they didn't matter if it bothered me. They didn't matter. It didn't matter that I was dealing with a loss of a loved one. It didn't matter if that my husband had lost his job and we were worried. Like these things, these moments were still happening. So it's like I didn't share how I was feeling because I didn't think I mattered to them. But one thing I do know is that I matter to God, and He heard every prayer, every angry moment, every frustrated moment, every curse word. I'm just being honest. And He caught every tear. And to get on the other side of this, I feel free. I feel happier. And I learned a lot. I did. I learned a lot. So if you're in that space as well, ask God, am I in your will? Am I walking this thing out with you? Am I doing what you've asked me to do? And if He says yes, keep going. Keep going. If the Lord says no, then tap in. Tap in, plug in, and submit your yes, surrender. I encourage you to do that because there's more inside of you. There's more that you're supposed to be doing. And ministry is not the pulpit. Ministry is not just worshiping on Sundays. Like it's not a Sunday thing. Like ministry is every day, 365, 7 days a week, like 24 hours out the day. I get calls at 2 a.m. Somebody asking me to pray for them. Like ministry is around the clock and you are needed. So I want to encourage you one more time. Keep going and remember to keep being wild for God. See you next week, Sunday, 7 a.m. I love you and God bless you.